like to call our regular board business meeting to order and ask the treasurer to call the roll.
President Baker?
Present.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Vice President Cole? Ms. Gibbs? Ms. Hudson? Mr. Peretti?
Here.
Ms. Reyes?
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer, and I would like to ask one of our newest state representatives to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If Bernadine Kennedy Kent would please rise and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, I'll briefly read through the business we have before us this evening. We'll adopt the agenda, after which we will take public comment if we have any. After which we may hear briefly, very briefly, from our treasurer. We will then take up the board's consent agenda, after which we will hear announcements. We may hear from the superintendent at some point during the meeting as well.
So I know some audience members are wondering if we can amplify the sound a little bit more. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, after which we will adjourn our meeting, and we will then have some fun this evening as part of our annual State of the District. So I know we're all looking forward to that. So having said that, the chair will now entertain a motion that we adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Mr. Treasurer?
President Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Peretti?
Yes.
Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
That motion carried.
Thank you, and I do not believe we have anyone sign up to speak this evening. We do not. So let's move right into our treasurer report. Mr. Treasurer, would you like to share any news at all? I know you have at least one thing you might like to share.
Certainly. First of all, we've dispensed with the public presentation of the December financial report, which was reviewed by FAC last Thursday. So that's out there on board docs, and you have it as an attachment. And again, that was reviewed last week. And well, the big news for today is I've just returned from Cleveland, where we were on the desk at Key Bank, and we sold the $75 million in bonds, which is what we call the first issue or first tranche of bonds relative to the $125 million that was approved. And that sale went extremely well. And as an indication, the bank underwrote the deal. About $15 million of the deal was not yet sold, but we agreed that we were at the right levels, and shook hands before I bolted from Cleveland to come back down here for this meeting. So that's good news, and I think you'll be presented later on with an appropriation resolution amendment so that Maurice's team can get busy fixing things, I guess is the best way to put it. So it all went well.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. I know that you and superintendent staff and others worked very hard on putting that deal together, so thank you for your efforts on behalf of the district. Anything else you'd like to share this evening?
No, nothing at all, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Mr. Superintendent, anything you'd like to share this evening?
President Baker, no. Thank you. He did, didn't he?
Motion that we approve our consent agenda as it has been presented.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All right. Any discussion on any pieces of legislation within the consent agenda this evening? Mr. Brown.
Yes. As I've mentioned in the past, I think this board needs to get about having a conversation on travel and on setting priorities and guidelines for our doing that. And until we've accomplished that and worked something out, I'll be voting no on the travel-related expenses.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. I appreciate that. Any other comments from board members on any pieces of legislation within our consent agenda this evening? I will note the arrival of board member W. Shauna Gibbs. And if there are no comments, Mr. Treasurer, you may call the roll.
Mr. Brown?
Now, yes, as to everything other than 7.
And
No on
7 would be a no. Thank you. Ms. Gibbs?
Yes.
Mr. Peretti?
Yes.
Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
And President Baker?
Yes.
That motion carried.
Thank you very much, Mr. Treasurer. And the only other item, and this is listed in your agenda, and it is duly noted there, 2017 committee assignments. And so all board members received a copy of the list of committee assignments. So thank you for all of you who agreed to lead and to participate in committees during 2017. As most of you know, that's where a lot of the hard work gets done, is in committees. So thank you very much. And any other announcements, anything people would like to share before? Yes, Mr. Peretti.
This is just related to the Finance Committee. I am really excited as we move forward and continue to hone our processes. Finance Committee will be looking at ways that we will be able to score and report what we've been able to use on the deferred maintenance, and staff have been really working hard with the treasurer and Dr. Good's team to put together a way that we're able to see that as we go forward. So I'm really excited as that develops, as well as sort of our budgetary processes and our finance processes moving forward into the next fiscal year.
Well said. Thank you, Mr. Peretti. Any other announcements? Any board members would like to share?
Just
Yes, Mr. Brown.
on behalf of Mr. Peretti, he wants to make sure that we properly thank the donors who contributed cash to Briggs High School with respect to soccer team jerseys and equipment. Last year's coach didn't return those things.
All right. We also, thank you, Mr. Brown. We also received an anonymous donation from an individual that wishes to remain anonymous, and so we certainly do appreciate those as well. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Ms. Gibbs.
Yes.
Thank you, and Happy New Year. And just wanted to make the announcement that the Innovation and Reform Committee will be meeting on Wednesday, February 15th. That meeting will reconvene as scheduled. It has been augmented because of our January schedule, but want to make sure that all of our committee members and the listening audience know that they are welcome and invited to join us for the first Innovation and Reform Committee meeting of the year.
Thank you very much.
And I do have one more question.
Yes, Ms. Gibbs.
President Baker, Superintendent Good, at the close of the year, we had 2 meetings on safety, and we did a lot of work and engaged the community. Just want to know, when do we plan to pick up that work and to talk about the recommendations and what we're going to do with the data and the information that we collected?
Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you, President Baker, members of the board, and I apologize if I didn't make that more clear in one of the more recent communications we sent out, but we will actually have a report on that at one of our February meetings, and they have been meeting. Those 3 work teams have been meeting, and they'll be sharing what the outcomes are, and as the board had hoped, there'll be community members that are actually leading those presentations to the board. But Dr. Stanford is actually working with Dr. Roush to coordinate that, and J.C. Benton's. Do you want to say anything else?
No, thank you. So,
So it's coming up.
Thank you. And I also want to acknowledge our internal auditor, Carolyn Smith, who has arrived. Is there anything you'd like to share this evening, internal auditor?
Yes, thank you, President Baker. Just wanted to let the board know that the A&A will be meeting tomorrow at 3:30 in the downtown conference room.
Thank you very much. All right. If there's nothing else for the good of the order this evening, the chair will now entertain a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Mr. Treasurer?
Ms. Gibbs?
Yes.
Mr. Peretti?
Yes.
Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
President Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
That motion carried.
Thank you very much. We stand adjourned. I look forward to seeing you all in the field house. Thank you.